this video's direction is probably going to go south really fast. So, fun fact, I don't like writing book reviews. I love writing. I love books. I just don't have the time or want to write out a book review. I tried it before. It's just much easier and much more pleasant if I can talk about it in front of a camera, because I am a grammar and writing perfectionist. If I post something, it's going to get reread at least 3 times. I'm going to point at every letter to make sure it is grammatically correct, and I get too lost trying to make my writing sound so fantastic and scholarly that sometimes I just miss the mark entirely on what I'm actually trying to say. So I do keep my Goodreads TBR. That's how I look up books, but I no longer post reviews. I've done some, never enjoyed it, so I stopped. So don't follow me on Goodreads. Nothing is happening except me just rating the books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, that's it. Ordering them by shelves, genres, that's it. However, since I've given up writing book reviews, I thought it would be fun to read my salty reviews to you guys. I mean, I could read you my happy, oh, I love this book reviews, but let's be honest, those aren't as fun. Time to connect to the internet. I turn the internet off of my computer whenever I'm using it because I'm afraid a virus will magically transport over the web. Trust nothing. So there may be some people out there who are like, Casey, you're a very pleasant, good-looking girl. You write salty reviews? Yes, I do. Because there is no filter between my thoughts and my hands. I will let everything loose. Every single gripe, if I hated your book, I am much nicer in the videos. And let me guys know if you guys actually read people's Goodreads reviews before you decide to read a book. I usually just read the summary, look at the stars, but the stars don't even matter that much to me. I want the summary, and then I decide if I want to read it or not. But if I do, and I never do look at a Goodreads review, I don't want 3 pages of writing. I want a list of pros and cons, and that's it. Pros, excellent character, excellent world building. Cons, deus ex machina, contrived plot. I don't know, stuff like that. I want the simplest format, and no one gives that to me. They write these long posts that I'm just not that interested in. I wrote long posts like that. No one was interested in it. I wasn't even interested in it. But now I am. So let's see what Casey of 6 months ago thought of her least favorite books. I do love the friends recommendation feature on Goodreads though. I like just asking people, hey, do you guys know a good book with this trope or this in it? And people will be like, yeah, here you go, here you go, here you go. And I'm like, thank you. Okay, I have 110 ratings on Goodreads. 3.59 is my average. I have 25 written reviews. I have a good profile picture. Man, I'm cute. Okay. Oh, I remember this one. First one to pop up. 2-star book. Reckless. My review. Good lord, what in the world did I fall into? 4 question marks. I mean, I was constantly scrolling through the internet making sure I didn't accidentally buy the 5th book in a series. Poor writing, confusing point of views, awful, no, absolutely zero character development, the waste of space known as Clara, and finally, the great sin of naming someone after one of their character attributes. Unforgivable. I pulled no punches. The only thing I didn't like about that book, though, was just how dark the fairy tales were. It was oh, this world, all the fairy tales that we know, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, they're real, but they're more twisted in this part. Much more grim, much more bloody. I like that. That was it. This is a good review. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, but I can't actually remember what I wrote, so I do want to know what I wrote. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but I wrote 3.5. Here's my video review. This book is essentially the Wizard of Oz of stories. You got this big imposing thing, like a floating wizard head or something like that, but once you yank back the curtain, you realize it's really something much more underwhelming like a shriveled old man. Don't get me wrong, I love the premise of this book. A murder mystery / sci-fi thriller where you are trapped in a continuous time loop for 8 days, shifting between 8 different bodies every time you fall asleep, all to solve the murder of Evelyn H. Or else you have to start the cycle all over again without any memories. Ooh, I love it! But it's not only that, there's other rivals competing against you and they do anything to win. I'm basically just repeating the summary, so boring. My favorite pinch of storyline in this is how our main... What did I mean by that? My favorite pinch of storyline in this is how our main character is gradually losing his own personality to all the hosts he is sharing bodies with, each with their own limitations and strengths that he has to adjust to while also reining in their lusts and desires. Points for concept in sheer creepiness of the Plague Doctor and the Footman. Those were good. Boy, I love those guys. However, view spoiler, so spoiler tag here. Dang, this is long. Behind that mask, behind that livery, disappointment. This was like my 4th favorite book of the year, and I'm ranting about it. What was wrong with you, Casey? The Plague Doctor? Is he some immortal Time Lord just wanting to spend his eternity making the lives of fragile mortals miserable in a torturous zoo of sorts just to satisfy his sadistic pleasure? Like I thought in the beginning? Nope. He's just a prison guard. A nice one, too. Prison guard? You mean Blackheath isn't some pocket dimension or secluded ring of hell? Nope. Prison simulation to rehabilitate bad folks. Bad folks? Like the Footman? Like Daniel? Oh, that guy was great. Perfectly devious, and when he... You learn nothing about him and the Footman. It's just some paid-off illusion, not another rival. So yeah, my biggest problem is the lack of world building, explaining, and the awfully detached crime of cramming mere sentences of backstory and character motivation into the last 50 pages of the book. Like Daniel mentioned before, Anna and Bishop are the greatest victims of this. We are told they were simply a bad person or a vengeful person before coming to Blackheath, no more no less. It's not enough, and I don't particularly care, especially about one chap's sister who is supposed to provide a great deal of motivation to one character. Also, there's no explanation of how this masterful illusion works. If the prison system has managed a way to keep people trapped in one illusion, simulation, whatever, for 30 years, I want a detailed blueprint on how they do that. Do they freeze their bodies? Is this like Sword Art Online and they're in a massive video game? Are their bodies aging still? Because, come on people, it's been 30 years. I want to know, but I can't because the book is over, so I'm salty. It was so good, but so meh. Why? Why? Dang. I like that book. Please read it. Salty Casey. Oh, okay. Our Dark Duet. I love the first book, This Savage Song, but 3 stars for Our Dark Duet. Let's see what she said. Why do I write so much? But I made it in a list form too, so points, yay. How does this book have 4.21 stars? No. The review goes like this. Yeah, it's me. I gave This Savage Song 5 stars. Don't regret that. But I do regret the amount of expectation that good book gave me for this sequel. Sad to say, our dynamic duo, who are supposed to make up the duet, are separated for nearly half of the book, and that could have not happened if certain scenes had led to nothing. Just wouldn't have existed. Here, I'll make a list. I made a list. What I liked. August's issues. View spoilers. A certain villain I like is back again. View spoilers. The idea of the Chaos Eater and its insidious power over humans. Just the overall creativity of the monsters of Verity. But I despise so much more. Introducing so many characters, namely soldiers and Kate's little posse I didn't care about. Just diluting the book with names that could be cut down to just 1 or 2 more major minor characters. Major, minor, yeah, and that makes sense. Soro, a jerk. Just a mean, uppity jerk. Why are you killing that innocent soldier, Soro? View spoiler. What did I write? Spoiler. Yeah, I'm gonna shout this one. If Soro would have died rather than Elsa, I would have loved the ending so much more. Hide spoiler. Number 3, the ending. I thought the ending, or rather the bad boss fight, or rather the big boss fight of This Savage Song fell flat too. Our Dark Duet disappointed me more. View spoiler. You killed both the Chaos Eater and Ilsa so fast I couldn't even feel sad. And because I was feeling meh when this happened, it basically, the next chapter, that feeling carried over to when Kate died. I actually laughed because nothing was getting to me. Bad execution, such as, number 4, the Chaos Eater. It's pretty bland. We had this big bad thing that I was genuinely interested in. I actually came to think of the CE as a childlike individual because it was so quiet and stood still in the midst of all the chaos it caused. But aside from letting it run free and kill, you didn't give us backstory, its origins, and, view spoiler, you killed it like it wasn't the big baddie that it was. Just poof, dead. All the deaths are just handled badly in this book. Kate and that chick Rez were okay though. Dead, but okay. Rez. Oh, I can't remember. Who's Rez? I think I know, but I'm not sure. Number 5, Leo. Spoiler. Sorry, I'm just bitter. I liked Lilo. I liked Leo, and I just want him back. alive. Smiley face, high spoiler. Number 6. Oh, we waste a couple of chapters of Kate doing FTF training that ultimately leads up to nothing? Gee, thanks. Number 7. The beef between Alice and Kate is too hyped up and doesn't pay off. Honestly, just give me a metal spike and let me end it now. I didn't like that book. I forget how vicious I can be. I am also semi-impressed with myself. I'm very eloquent. Uh-oh. Again, but better. 1 star. This is a list. Kept it short, thankfully. What I despised. Shane. Pilot. Any other character except Amy. Bless that poor girl. The dialogue. Horrible metaphors/similes. Getting punched in the face with sudden character development. More like a very awkward character growth spurt akin to a sudden time jump. Oh yeah, the time jump. The twist, the dialogue. Seriously, why does everyone sound 15? The jokes, if you could call them that. That red-headed lady. All the pop culture references. If you keep reminding me about Harry Potter, I'm just gonna put the book down and read Harry Potter. The relationship. And finally, the dialogue. Honestly, it made me want to DNF at page 16, but I foolishly kept going. What I liked. The cover. It's blue. Also, someone got slapped. Also, Shane's parents yelled at her. Good. She deserved it. Here's my video review. Link. No apologies for that. It deserved every second of that. Okay. This is the one I've been wanting to get to. Circe by Madeline Miller. 1 star. By the time I finished it, I was like, what was the point of this whole thing? So I took a bunch of quotes that were on like the front of the book, blurbs, and I wasn't nice. Circe, a celebration of indomitable female strength in a man's world where women only exist for sex and are easy to catch. That's a direct quote from the book. Hermes raises a glass in asterisk, so creepy asterisks. Circe, a woman who stands alone, is a constant attention seeker who cannot detach herself from her dude of the decade until some other strapping young chap comes along. A line of Greek heroes and gods flex. Asterisks. Circe, an epic spanning thousands of years that's also a keep you up all night page turner, is entrapped within a constant cycle of rinse, dry, and repeat. Circe banished on island. Can't get off of island. People come to island, do bad things / insult Circe on island. Leave island, then repeat. Hypnos, the Greek god of sleep, keeps on snoring. Seriously, the Percy Jackson arc where she owns an evil island resort is better and more entertaining to read. I agree. That was a cool part of Percy Jackson. That was my childhood middle school favorite book. Yeah, Circe's a feminist retelling. It's not. It's really not. Little else to be said about that. Oh, here's a recent one. The Perfect Girlfriend. I read that in December, I think. Super short. Oh, save the really thrillery stuff for the end and have us do nothing for the rest of the book. Why even bother? 2 stars. 3 stars with the fire on high. Literally just a girl going to school. She also has a child. King of Scars. Just what I wanted. Nikolai stuck in a sandcastle for half the book. Freaking Zoya as a main character. And a stupid side quest with Nina running around blabbering on about how this girl she just met has such beautiful rosy brown hair. The last 20 pages were awesome though. The sun is also a star. Natasha, you are an unlikable sauerkraut. Daniel, you're fine. The Near Witch by Victoria Schwab. 3 stars. Basically a DNF. I skimmed the ending. Throughout the book, we know who took the kids, and we're just waiting to meet the villain in the climax. The Ashbourne Boy, though, a short story that came along in the book, 5 stars. What else I got? Diving deeper into the salt. Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, 2.5. Typical spooky house vibes and wading through 300 pages to finally get to the point of what happened to the kid. The last 6 pages were awesome, though. Into the Drowning Deep. DNF'd at page 40. Too much science. I don't care how California makes its own fresh water or whatever, get to the bloody point. 9 Perfect Strangers. I mean, if you want to follow incredibly horny people around a spa for a few days, then yeah, it's okay. Oh, here's one for Crooked Kingdom. 5 stars. Can I just run off of Kaz and the world will never hear from us again? Oh, and that's it. I'm all done. So yeah, I think it's best for my sanity and just the positive vibes of the universe that I just stay away from Goodreads and just talk to you guys in a more pleasant tone, because I can get really angry when I'm writing. If you guys use Goodreads, what's the book that you wrote the most scathing review of on it so I can go find it? This has brought back so many memories. I loved it. I hope you guys got a chuckle, or at least you're like, I get you. I read that book. I feel exactly the same way. And we're gonna stay on Goodreads for a while too, because I got some other video ideas concerning it. These are my favorite videos to watch. So, see you next time. See you next week, or maybe in a few days from now. I cannot predict what future me will do. Till next time, you lovely lassies and magnificent men. Peace, love, and applesauce.